based in reality. He would often soil himself on the Apprentice set. He's incontinent from all the speed, all the Adderall he does, the cocaine that he's done for decades. You know, all that stuff has a laxative, and it has an effect on your bowels, and his are uncontrollable. He's worn diapers since probably the 90s, but I saw it firsthand in the 2000s on Celebrity Apprentice in late 2000s, and we'd have to stop the show and change him, you know, and that was Keith Schiller's job. He would take him off set, he would wipe him down. Our nickname for Keith was Wet Wipes. It's not a joke. It's happened several times. And,
Wet Wipes.
You've seen it happen while he's in office. You've seen he was in the Oval Office with Erdogan, and you could clearly hear him sort of evacuating himself. He did it in front of Senator Feinstein.
Evacuating himself? God, I hate how they word that. I can smell that in my head.
And Feinstein at a press conference. So he does it, and he almost sits there like and unaware of it, you know. And one time I saw Ivanka have to go kind of whisper in his ear, and then Keith came and took him off stage. He'll also do it in a rage, and this is where it gets really drug related. He'll start
rage poop. Anybody ever rage poop? You just get so mad you just gotta go take a shit.
Start to freak out. You know, one time there was the word arbitrage on a cue card, and he started,
"You son of a bitch!"
screaming that the script department was setting him up. "You're setting me up," and he just freaked out, and then very loudly evacuated his bowels, and you could smell it, you know. And the guy,
it's like a squid, you know, when they get scared, just
was holding the boom mic, you know, was tearing up. So that's where the nickname, the SHIT show, came from. That was the crew nickname for Celebrity Apprentice. So when you hear Diaper Don, it's not a joke. He tries to hide it. I'll give you one more fact. If you look up the video of him when he was doing the WWF thing, he tackles a guy on the ground outside of the ring, and you can clearly see the outline of the Depends in his pants. And that was back in the early 90s. So he's lost control of his bowels. He's lost control of his brain. That's who he is. Diaper Don.
Diaper Don. Hashtag Diaper Don.
This is doo-doo, baby. I said, ah!
Some people on Wall Street have expressed concerns that the possibility of a recession is increasing. And I want to know what you think about that. Are you comfortable with the country potentially dipping into a recession for a period of time if you are able to achieve
he's comfortable as fuck. He's got money.
your long-term goals?
Well, you know, you say some people on Wall Street say, well, I can tell you something else. Some people on Wall Street say that we're going to have the greatest economy in history. Why don't you talk about them? Because some people on Wall Street say this is the greatest thing that ever happened.
That's what I'm getting at.
We already had the greatest economy in history.
So it's the same question.
Yeah, there are many people on Wall Street say this is going to be the greatest windfall ever happened.
And that's my question.
Remember
the
this.
long term.
Yeah.
Is it okay in the short term to have a
Remember
recession?
this. Look, yeah, everything's okay. What we are, I said, this is a transition.
There it
period.
is.
I think we're going to do fantastically.
Yeah, transitional period. So we all get to suffer. So his buddies and him make more money. He's okay with the recession. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. You don't need all those Barbie dolls for your kids. You know, you only need 3, right?
Well, we don't do much business with Canada.
Well, respectfully, Canadians' view on this is not going to change on the 51st day. Secondly, we are the largest client of the United States in the totality of all the goods. So we are the largest client of the United States. We have a tremendous auto sector between the two of us, and the changes that made have been helpful. 50% of a car that comes from Canada is American. That's not like anywhere else in the world. And to your question about is there one thing? No, this is a bigger discussion. There are much bigger forces involved, and this will take some time and some discussions, and that's why we're here, to have those discussions, and that is represented by who's sitting around the table.
I'm looking at the comments. An adult in the room. What a real leader looks and sounds like. Trump suddenly realized he is dealing with a more intelligent man, which wouldn't be difficult. I love how Mark Carney cut him off at the knees. LOL, trying to outsmart Carney on finances. Laughing face, laughing face. Carney controlled that meeting and told Trump exactly what's happening. Trump was useless. Where are all the MAGA trolls at? Where did MAGA go? They're so quiet now. They must be too busy for politics.
Well, we don't do much business with Canada.
Oh my God.
I do feel it's much better for Canada, but we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it. I think that there are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower tax.
His body language is screaming, "You fucking idiot." Just watch his body language. Don't even look at Trump.
I do feel it's much better for Canada, but we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it. I think that there are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada. If you have had
We are protecting Canada, guys. Did you know that?
a problem, but I think it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited.
That's true.
And having met with the owner
He looks like he's about to shit himself. He's like, "Oh, we got to get this over with quick. I'm gonna go."
of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. We have done that in the past, and part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have.
And did you see how diplomatic Carney is? Like, he can get Trump to agree with him the entire way through just by outsmarting him, just by rewording it, making it understandable to him, like baby food. He has to break it down to him in baby food so he can actually swallow it and poop it out in front of everybody because he shits himself.
Governor Steve Lord, CBS 13. Anything you want to say about Alcatraz?
Oh yeah, so Trump wants to reopen Alcatraz, guys. He wants to reopen Alcatraz.
Governor Steve Lord, CBS 13. Anything you want to say about Alcatraz? Any chance?
I mean, I don't know if he's watching The Rock or what inspired this. That would be, there's 336 prisoners there. I mean, you can't even come up with a more colossally bad fiscal idea. Nothing about this makes any sense. It's got the form and substance of the stuff that flows in and out of the bay over Alcatraz every day. Fog.
Governor
Gavin Newsom roasting him. Absolutely roasting him.
How did you decide to reopen Alcatraz? Can you walk us through that decision?
Did I say what?
To reopen Alcatraz, how will you use it? How did you come up with the idea?
Well, I guess I was supposed to be a movie maker. We started with the movie making and we'll end. I mean, it represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order. Our country needs law and order. Alcatraz is, I would say, the ultimate, right? Alcatraz, Sing Sing and Alcatraz, the movies. But it's right now a museum, believe it or not. A lot of people go there.
Yeah, no shit. It's a rusty-ass museum with the walls falling. He's never even been there.
Most violent criminals in the world, and nobody ever escaped. One person almost got there, but they, as you know the story, they found his clothing rather badly ripped up, and it was a lot of shark bites, a lot of problems. Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz, and just represented something strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country, and so we're going to look at it. Some of the people up here are going to be working very hard on that, and
so I'm going to translate this. We're going to open a bunch of prisons all over the place for criminals. Just my hypothesis, if you will.
We had a little conversation. I think it's going to be very interesting. We'll see if we can bring it back in large form, add a lot. But I think it represents something. Right now it's a big hulk that's sitting there rusting and rotting.
We need Trumpatraz. It's going to be called Trumpatraz.
You look at it, it's sort of you saw that picture that was put out, it's sort of amazing, but it sort of represents something that's both horrible and beautiful. And
makes no sense, but it's powerful, so I like it.